Hello and welcome to another video by Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are about to embark on building this Ultimate Collector Series Imperial Star Destroyer, which looks absolutely incredible on the box. The graphics look absolutely amazing, and if the model turns out to be anything like the box, like it shows on the box, I will be incredibly happy. So we're going to embark on this model. It will probably take us some time to build it because it's many thousand pieces. So let's get cracking. Stay tuned and we'll give you a blow-by-blow report on how we're getting on. So here we are then. This is the first 2 stages complete on this build. And already this is massive. It is absolutely huge. So this is literally just the bare framework that we've done so far, and you can literally see how big it is. It's been so far very easy construction, very solid construction as well, I must say, and hopefully it will turn out to be as good as that image on the box. So stay tuned and see how we get on. Okay, this is now section 3 completed, which is all the framework. You can just see how big this model is getting. Terrific build so far, beginning to look amazing. So let's hope that the finished article will be as good as it seems to be. Stay tuned. Okay, now we have section 5, which is completed, which is the lower back section of the back part of the starship. Fairly easy to build, just a little bit tight in locating the pegs into these little slots. You can see the slots at the top, they are the same at the bottom. And it's very, very tight. You need to be very careful you don't break them. I did manage to break one on assemble, but I've managed to get around the issue. But otherwise, it's beginning to take shape and looking very good, if I say so myself. So stay watching for section 6. Okay, section 6 is now complete, which is actually the bottom under here, which is where the TIE fighters sit. Just one under the bottom there, and the other bases. And that's the view from the top. It's all beginning to come together. We're moving on now. We're going to start the build for section 7. And here we have section 7 completed, which is this back section here, which runs across the width of the rear of the destroyer. All went together quite nicely, although a little fiddly to attach it, but otherwise all looks pretty good. This is where the ball joints locate into the slots, just on here. There's 2 places. That was the fiddly part, and the locating pegs at the back. But otherwise, once inserted in the right position, it's looking very good, and it really is beginning to take shape now. So stay tuned. We're moving on now to section 8. Right, well, this is the next section that's completed, which is the back section of the Ultimate Star Destroyer. And I must say, it's really beginning to look very, very cool indeed. The full scale of this model is unbelievable. It is absolutely phenomenal. But it really is beginning to look the part now. I'm quite excited to carry on with the build. So stay tuned, we're moving on to the next section. Okay, so we've just completed section 10, which is the back engines on the rear of the destroyer, and also the under panels, which have clipped in just below the outside bar sections. Very fiddly to get in, I must add, held on by little tiny pegs which go into slots. Fortunately, we managed to get them in without too much hassle, although one peg did snap. However, we managed to get around that because of how they actually sat. We managed to avoid having to use the sixth peg. So otherwise, it's all gone together very nicely and is beginning to look absolutely incredible. So let's move on to section 11. And hopefully it'll be everything we're expecting. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've just completed sections 11 and 12, which are these outer panels which sit at the front of the Star Destroyer. So you can see that the outer hull now is beginning to take shape, as compared to the other end, which is still blank. Fairly easy to get together, quite easy to make. The only difficult part is assembling these panels onto the actual framework, because they have to sit into these little slots. You've got little ball joints that go into these little slots which are on the framework. And if you're not very careful with them, you can quite easily break them when trying to insert them. So what I've had to do is I've had to actually use a screwdriver to press down on the top of the ball joint as we're trying to insert it into the slot. Eventually they go in, but they are very, very tight. So just something to watch out for, that they are very easily breakable. But anyway, we're now going to move on to the next two sections, which is the back half of the top of the destroyer. So these two panels are the next two sections. Stay tuned and see you in a bit. Okay, so we've just completed section 14 of the Ultimate Star Destroyer, which is the back side panels, two of them, this one here and this one here. Once again, we've had a little bit of trouble locating the pegs in, because they have to sit inside the little slots, and they're just held in with a little ball joint. But once they're in, they hold quite firm and stay quite tight, which is a good thing. I don't know if you can see the joints under there or not, but that's a little bit fiddly. Otherwise, back section's gun. The guns, all of them rotate very well, spin round, depending on what's attacking. You point the guns in any direction. So, and the same on this side. Each one spins very well, all the way around, rotate them, spin them, fighting off all of the Star Destroyers or the X-Wings, whatever attacking. So, that's section 14 completed, and now the next section is 15, which we'll be moving on to shortly. But I must say, this ship is looking absolutely incredible. So stay tuned and let's see how we go with section 15. Okay, so this is section 15 and 16 completed, which is the top section of the bridge of the Star Destroyer, which was a very, very nice build in actual fact. All went together very well. very easy to attach to the actual base of the Star Destroyer. Just held in by about 6 or 7 pins. Just keep it mounted correctly. Sits back from the back of the ship very well, and is really beginning to make the Destroyer look absolutely amazing. Really pleased with this build so far. Been one of the better builds that we've done. So let's now move on to section 17 and 18. Stay tuned. Right, so we've now completed section 17 and 18 of the Star Destroyer bridge. So it's the left side and the right side of the bridge are now completed and attached to the Star Destroyer. Very simple build, easily slotted together with some pins on the inside that slot into the holes that hold it very sturdy. This is really, really beginning to take shape now, and is such an impressive model. I can only say that I'm delighted with the results so far, and we still have got another section to build, which is the front section of the bridge, exactly where that hole is. So let's move on, get cracking, and let's finish this model and have a good look at it when it's completed. Stay tuned for the final section. So here we are, the end of a build. The final 2 sections have been completed now and added on, and I must say the model looks absolutely stunning. It is huge. Very detailed. Fairly okay to build. Very little hiccups apart from on the locating pegs on the large panels. But generally, overall, this was a fantastic build. One of the most enjoyables I think I've done. And that bomber attached to the side really gives you an idea of what the scale of this ship is. But just look at that, phenomenal. And right behind it is the box. And it looks exactly like it does on that box. So fair play. It is incredible. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching us build this model, seeing how we got on. And stay tuned for some more builds, because all these ones along here are yet to be done. That's along with the Death Star 1 and Death Star 2 to build, plus many, many others. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll see you again soon.